Welcome to the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as Rorixon, and I'm joined, as always, by friend and co-host
Rowan. You might know me as Mocha. It's been a while since we had one of these
Yeah,
holidays, taking a
Happy
break.
New Year.
Got a little sick. Yeah, we're doing good now.
Yes, I'm glad to hear. Yeah, it's actually, I don't even want to know when, has it been 3 weeks? Has it been 3? Oh, that feels nasty. I don't like that. But no, we're back. It's a new year. Same old Game Corner. But so how has your holidays been?
Holidays, yeah, hit or miss, but they're pretty good overall. We're alive. We're back in it. 2024 is going to be better. Yeah, the Reg F has been a lot of fun already. I thought this about E as well. E was better than D. I think F is going to be better than E in terms of like diversity and cool stuff you can play. I'm
Sure.
definitely having a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, I think I agree. I'm pretty excited to see how regulation F shapes up. Um, but yeah, let's do you want to just jump into it? Do you want to just like
Yeah, so the most recent tournament we just had this last weekend was Portland, and this has been kind of everybody looking forward to it because just want to see what is the meta, what are the best players in the world bringing to this. We've all had time to play around on Showdown for a couple of weeks now, but we've all just been kind of spitballing and not knowing like what the teams to beat are, and we found out. I don't know. Did you watch any of the matches at all?
I did not. I was unable to
Okay.
watch any of the matches. I'm extremely busy for about this 2 month period. It's gonna be great.
Okay.
Holidays through February.
Rip. Well, I did manage to watch all of it, and yeah, the name of the game here is like it's not centralized. It's that so many good players built together that the top eight had multiple instances of the same teams or very close to the same teams because it's literally like friend groups of top players who built the same teams together and also did well because they're top players. So it's pretty like we know what the teams to beat are for sure now. Congrats to Alex Underhill for winning with a team I really like. We got to see Raging Bolt take first place in the first tournament was legal, and also seeing Entei, Dragonite, Chen Pao as a trio together is really cool.
Yeah, I was I was I was looking at the top 12 usages like because they show that infographic. That's the word. My goodness. Like on Twitter or whatnot, and I was shocked to see Entei well over like I guess I thought gouging fire
Oh
whatever
yeah,
him.
gouging fire. It's not a bad mon for sure, but
Yeah,
it's hard to argue with inner focus and sacred fire and extreme speed all in the same mon. Like
and that's definitely what it showed here. It was sitting at the number 10 spot on day one and the number 7 spot on day two. I was like,
yeah,
ooh,
I
that's
think
really
it is really
cool.
funny though that like the top six on either day just literally are a team. Like
Yes.
you could easily bring the top six on either day and have a great team. Like that'll work just perfectly. Um, but yeah, the other big thing was Chuppa Cross getting second place barely. It was a nail biter final, really fun to watch.
I should go
But
watch it.
getting second with Dondozo, and he was not the only person to bring this Dondozo team, only person in the top eight. But I know that at the very least, Carson Confer brought the same team, who got ninth, and there is at least one more instance of it I saw over the weekend. I don't know Zach Drogue comp, but same team. It's with this
Yeah.
Covert Cloak Grass Ogrepon, Meteor Beam Power Herb Glamora, which is a cool new thing we get with the DLC, and then Chen Pao D Knight Dondozo, and it's Rocky Helmet Dondozo too, so it really messes with all the Chen Pao in the meta.
Ooh,
Um,
very nice.
yeah, and the Urshifu. So yeah, it was pretty cool to see people making Dondozo work again when we like it's been here since Reg A. It's kind of like Goldengo, where everybody thinks, oh, this thing's been power crept, and then you're like, nope, no, it's still busted. Like it is fundamentally a really good Pokemon. You just need to find the right niche for it. And yeah, the Defiant plus Covert Cloak makes plus superpower on the Ogrepon just makes it the ultimate anti-Incineroar, which is kind of a pain for Dondozo to deal with. So yeah, very cool to see.
Oh, good point. That's what that ogre pond is doing. I am opening up the team sheet for that. I see. Yeah, no, that sounds fun. It is cool to see, like you said, the Dozo. I mean, Dozo's been around since reggae. It's always like people have been bringing it to tournaments, every single one of them for the life of these games. But to see this new regulation with a whole bunch of new toys coming into the meta, and then Cheppa can bring what at first glance looks like I guess a Reg D team.
E,
Right?
I think, instead of Ogerpon. Yeah.
E for Ogerpon. Yes, Reg E team, and do this well.
Yeah. But that
It's
meteor
impressive.
beam on Glimora is actually a really big deal. It
Yeah.
turns it from a toxic bot from the spikes and the debris and mortal spin and all that to like a real threat, because it actually has base 130 special attack. It's really strong. So
Right.
if you it gets to do a big what is meteor beam, 120 130
I want
BP,
to
something
say
like that.
120.
Yeah, that much BP, and then with a free +1, and then it gets to start spamming +1 stab sludge bombs as well. Like it becomes like a real offensive threat, and no one really wants to touch it because it's gonna spread spikes when you do. So you have to hit it with strong special moves, and it resists Fluttermane's main stab, which is the premier special attacker in the format. So like in every format period since B.
Meteor beam is 120 with an accuracy of 90.
Yeah, so I can't remember if I saw it miss at all, but that's like classic from Series 12 and Swish as well. Like you get the meteor beam Lunalas that end up missing, and then the whole game's gone.
Yep. Then it's you're having a bad time if
Yeah,
your move
this
misses
is like
there.
you ignore fake out from Incineroar, and then you blast it with a stab meteor beam to Oko it, and then you miss, and then they hit you with a quad effective dark move.
Yeah, that would not be ideal. Let's see what else is
So
here.
yeah, there are a bunch of other really cool things. So speaking of stuff that's been around since Reg A but has a new twist on it, Brandon Davis got fifth with just pretty much vanilla Psy spam. There were some really cool bits of tech on it though, especially that we got to see on stream. So in particular, you have a lot of Trick Room teams have a Scarf powerful mon like Dark Urshifu or Reggie Drago I've seen too. But this one was Scarf Urshifu Dark with the Stellar Terra and Terra Blast. So we got to see that
Ooh,
new
very
mechanic
nice.
shown off a lot. And in particular, the match against Colin on stream, Colin was like, okay, I'm going to Terra my Fluttermane so it can't die to Wicked Blow because the Scarf Urshifu is faster than me. He goes for the Stellar Terra Blast, which is super effective against all other Terramons,
Right.
and proceeds to Oko the Flutter anyway as he gets Trick Room up. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Like we're getting to see all the new mechanics and the Gallade with
Clear Amulet.
Clear Amulet in there, like
Yes.
to deal with Incineroar. Like very cool adjustments. The thing is, been seeing a lot of this on the ladder. Like that Dozo team and this Ice Spam team have been kind of tearing up both Showdown and Limitless, and I don't think any of these people were the ones who made these teams. So it's just like these have been the new threats kind of like brewing for a while, but this is the first time that we've seen like, okay, this is real. They can win regionals. They're not just like online ladder heroes.
Yeah, and that's really cool, right? Like I know with everyone was kind of expecting, for example, something keeps binging on Discords. It's annoying me. Okay, so mute that real quick. Everyone was saying that like Trick Room was going to be more prevalent now. Like Trick Room size spam when it
Hatterene
comes
getting
to
Expanding Force is a huge buff.
huge boon. So like, and of course we see that here with Brandon's team. But like you said, it does look. I mean, it's not Series A, but it does really feel like such an early series team.
Yeah, it's the same concept, but it's just been upgraded. This could be a Reg D team if it wasn't for the new Expanding Force thing.
Right.
Like all of these were available with Home.
Right. So yeah, I mean, it's still to your point earlier. I wholeheartedly agree. I'm looking forward to continue to see, especially as we get ready to go to Charlotte and then play in Charlotte, the wide array of different types of teams we're going to see there. It's going to be annoying to deal with in person, but it'll be fun to talk about later.
Yeah. The other highlight I really like to see was so Joe UX9 continued playing with Riley's team, Riley Ventura, and actually did better than Factura Ventura. Wow, okay.
I was going to say, hold on. I was going to let you slide that one. Okay.
But yeah, he played the same team as Riley's been playing at almost every tournament and actually outplaced him. Riley finished 27th, and Joe finished 6th. But same team from Reg E, like just Ogerpon Fire, Amoonguss, King Gambit, Urshifu, Chen Pao, and AV Dragonite. I think the only difference is that Riley changed to a Ghost Scarf for Urshifu, and Joe kept with the Terra Poison. But yeah, it's just really, I was enjoying that team towards the end of Reg E when I had no more events to play, and it's pretty cool because it's like this AV Dragonite that just kind of eats up most things.
Everything,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get the option to do like slightly weaker Terra Normal Extreme Speeds with Chen Pao and all that. Like, it's pretty good, but I wasn't expecting to see it do as well because Urshifu's kind of falling off. Like, if you look here,
it's really interesting, right? Because so I was gonna mention trends here, right? So this is the first tournament of this series, and I was not expecting to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 water Ogerpons, only one fire Ogerpon, any grass Ogerpon, and make it to the top 8. And what's also very interesting is guess how many Incineroar are in the top 8. 2.
Not that many, yeah, exactly, yeah. And of all those Urshifu you see in there, most of them are dark.
Are back on Dark Train?
The only water one is Joe's, who is running a Regi team.
Yeah, you are correct. There's only 3. There's only 3 exactly. Urshifus and only 4 Flutters.
Flutter is doing pretty well in the usage, to be fair, but
but it's still weird to see it like this, right?
Yeah, it's like, only 50%.
It's dropping off. It's the lowest we've ever seen Flutter main. Is that true? That might be true. So like it is. we certainly joke, but it's fun to see. I wouldn't have guessed it. I wouldn't have guessed it.
I really hope that this is like how things are going to like continue, and it's not just a new toy syndrome kind of thing. Because the fact of the matter is, if you put a solid team in the hands of a really, really good player, they will beat a worse player who's using an optimal team, right? That's just true most of the time anyway. And like a lot of us were just predicting that this was going to be Incineroar, Rillaboom, Urshifu,
right?
Maybe Tornadus in there, like as just the core to beat, and it didn't really pop up that way. But I would not be surprised if it's how things end up. But I hope it isn't.
Well, even at the end of last regulation, we still had quite a bit of variety. It didn't centralize as much as I think any of the other regulations did. Is that true?
What, Reg E? It definitely did towards the end. It started off pretty nice, and it ended better than it could have, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, you had one Mon on the winning team of almost every single regional, and it came second in the last one. Like,
he's a good boy. Hisuian Archon's a good boy.
Everyone loves him, but it was a little centralizing. Like the teams at the top were they weren't identical, but they were very similar.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. That's true.
But it is cool. So like the meta is turning more special too, which I think might start to explain why all these water Ogerpons are showing up. Like, if you don't want to dedicate a slot to Rillaboom for terrain control, then just being able to Terra your water Ogerpon and like tank those new expanding forces and eruptions and whatever that happen in Hard Trick Room, like, it's a pretty good option. And follow me on a Mon that actually has offensive pressure is also really scary. So like I think it makes sense that water Ogerpon is kind of taking off. And what was the other thing? I went, Anton getting third with Screamtail was also pretty sick.
And Regidrago.
Yeah,
which like we've seen.
We've been seeing Goldango, Tornadus, Regidrago as a really cool core, because Dragon and Steel, like everybody talks about like Dragon, Steel, Fairy as the defensive core, but offensively they cover a lot too. Pretty much the only thing that resists both of them is Steel types, and then you have Incineroar for that. Like,
true. There's a lot of cool things, a lot of cool teams here.
Yeah, pretty neat to see Latios actually getting a top 8 as well, which was kind of quiet because we didn't get to see Ryan Hag on stream at all. At least I'm pretty sure I watched all the games and he didn't get to be on stream. But it was pretty neat showing that Hisuian Arcanine does still have a niche, just the standard choice band set, doing really well. And then Latios, pretty much what we've been seeing on ladder, Rocky Helmet, Tailwind for cover support. Mist Ball getting that buff was really big, but they went Terra Steel on Latios. I think I've seen a lot of Terra Poison more online since, but either way, having that Levitate ability really synergizes well with these ground weak types.
True. Ground also I'm the Landorus Incarnate is interesting because we're seeing a lot more of that. I thought we'd be seeing more Therian like we have in the
Yeah,
past.
Incarnate honestly is doing a lot better right now.
Yeah,
Because as far as intimidators go, I think Incineroar kind of outclasses Lando T at least
that
as an
makes sense.
intimidator. Um, just the pivoting and the fake out is too much compared to like because you're not doing that much damage. It's not like God, in Sword and Shield, you had the option to Dynamax and start throwing out airstreams and quakes that were base 130 or something, right? If I recall, somewhere around that range.
Yeah,
And now, like, it's stopping Tantrum. If it's Terra Blast is strong, but you have to commit to that, and then you can just get intimidated because most of them were running Scarf. Like, and whereas like Sandsear Storm on with Sheer Force and Life Orb is absolutely nuts. And if you don't have Rain, then you can sub that out for Substitute, which is also really hard to deal with.
sure. Do either of these teams have rain on it? I don't think
Actually,
so.
this no Ryan Haig had just was very bold and ran Sansear without the rain. I mean, like
Yeah,
a lot of times that's the play. People click Bleak Wind blind a lot of the time, so just an
and
even
they
more
they have the
polarizing
same
version of that.
accuracy, right? It's the
Yep,
same move, just different effects.
80%,
Okay,
and way more power on the Landorus because sheer force is
right,
nuts. Yeah.
right. Interesting. Let's see what else. What else yells at us out of
So the big thing was that Dragonite Chenpao is back with a
in a
vengeance,
lot of
right?
places? Yeah.
It's in half of the top 8 teams. Granted, Joe's is an AD Dragonite, so it's not quite the same, but still, like we saw way more priority than we thought we were going to see in here.
Hmm.
And I think that might end up being the return of Farigiraf in terms like seeing some more like Rinya style teams pop up. Like
I
Farig's still good.
was gonna say like how people are gonna look at what came out of Portland and make some strong calls and adjustments for
Yeah.
Charlotte.
There's going to be two kinds of people who copy the teams from here and the people who build specifically to counter the teams from here.
Yes.
And it'll be hard to say because the teams that did really well, I don't know that they have like hard counters. They're just balancy good stuff. So I'd say that the Dragonite Chenpao components of them are the only like really opinionated like gambles people took,
Right.
like that you can hard counter. Everything else is just like these are just strong bulky mons that can pivot around and have utility and can like take KOs and have defensive cores and all that. Like, what are you really doing with like Overpawn, Water, Entei, Fluttermane, and Raging Bolt? Like those four just support each other really well, even if you don't count the like having to deal with crazy powerful extreme speeds.
Hmm.
One really cool thing, like kind of niche that we saw in the finals though between Alex and Chuppa was that Chuppa's Dondozo outsped Alex's Booster Fluttermane and Booster special attack, mind you. But
Yes.
that's still really unusual. Most Dondozo go adamant, and in order to outspeed a modest Fluttermane, like
It
it,
almost has to be
they
Jolly.
don't even necessarily can, like not always can. Like a lot of Fluttermanes have been going incredibly bulky recently, so it's
Hmm.
not unheard of. If you go 252 speed and adamant, then you can outspeed a lot of the popular bulky Fluttermane spreads that have been going around. So everybody
Gotcha.
just kind of assumed, okay, Alex's Fluttermane must just be super bulky and not have that much speed. But then in game 3 of the finals, we saw his Fluttermane outspeed Chuppa's Chenpao, which means that the Chenpao had to be adamant, but it also means that the Fluttermane was 252 speed modest. So that means that you're right, the Dozo was Jolly, which we haven't seen in ages.
Right.
And Jolly Dozo doesn't do that much damage, honestly. It's more of a like just taking trades kind of mon, especially with the Rocky helmet on it.
Sure.
But yeah, it's not standard Dozo at all. Like it was people are really getting creative with the spreads, and we're like leaning into this whole thing with like open sheets. Like, yes, you can see all my moves and my Terra types and my mons, but you don't know every surprise up my sleeve. Like, that means that Alex's Fluttermane was probably faster than most people were expecting it to be, and it still got outsped
by
by
a
this other
Dozo.
crazy spread. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like that's the thing. It's still a math game, y'all. It is and there's a bunch of numbers that go on under the hood.
Yeah, but the fact that Alex's Chenpao consistently outsped the Dozo means that it was Jolly, and we
Yeah.
haven't seen Jolly Pow in a while either because people have just been getting greedy and going for the adamant one because screw it. It's but yeah, no, Jolly Pow is big. Oh, one more thing on Chen Pao. Chen Pao is crazy usage, and on day one we saw I forget who was doing it, but Terra Stellar Chen Pao.
Stellar. I think that's the way to do Chen Pao nowadays, right? Like that's
it's hard to say because with the return of Dragonite now, losing Terra Ghost is really big, and the return of Incineroar, losing Terra Ghost is really big. If you don't have the threat of being immune to Fake Out and Extreme Speed, then
yeah,
it's rough. But we got to see Stellar Terra Icicle Crashes just destroy things. Like I think the Stellar Terra Sucker Punch. I forget what it O-code, but it was something that like you just wouldn't think of. But you think double stab on Chen Pao's base attack if it's adamant. Yeah, it's actually probably really strong.
Yeah, so we have we even talked about Stellar on this podcast yet?
No, I don't think so. It's honestly
so bad.
It's not good in most situations. There's only a handful of mons that really make good use of it, and really
I think a lot of the consensus is it's you either want to be a Pokemon like Chen Pao where you're running Focus Sash, you're going to be on the field for 3 turns max if your opponent is good. So you're only going to get, you can use your variety of moves and take full advantage of.
So if anyone isn't aware of the mechanic, the way it works is that you Stellar Terra and every one of your moves is supposedly Terra regardless of type, but there's some niche things in there. First of all, once you use a move of a given type, it is your Terra for that type is used up. If I have Crunch and Sucker Punch on a Chen Pao and I tell Stellar Terra, if I click Crunch one turn, my Sucker Punches will not be Terra boosted.
Yep.
The other thing is that moves, so your actual stabs will get boosted to adaptability 2x like usual, but your non-stabs will only be boosted to 1.2, the same as like a Mystic Water type boost instead of the normal Terra boost, which is up to like a real stab, which is 1.5. And then finally, Terra Blast does neutral damage to every type unless they are Terra, in which case it will be super effective, but regardless, you drop both your attack stats after you use a Stellar Terra Blast. So it's like a very complicated, unintuitive kind of
extremely
feature,
unintuitive,
honestly.
And I think that's the worst part about it.
And it only really makes sense on a handful of mons. Chen Pao is definitely one. Urshifu Dark is another one that it does really well on.
Sure.
Just because like sometimes you really want that burst on your close combat or your Sacred Sword or whatever. I'm sure there are others that it's going to make an appearance on, but I'm not sure how I feel about it in general. I've seen it on some like supportive Flutter mains as well, who like don't have both Moonblast and Dazzle, so they might want to get the boosted Shadow Ball at some point. But most Flutter mains want to spam fairy moves and are running real bulky, so they get multiple of them off, right? So like, I don't think it usually makes sense on that mon. It's gonna be cool to see people find more usages for it, but it does seem like
someone who's much better at Teemo than me will find a really cool use for Stellar. And
it seemed like they were really scared of making something overpowered in the DLC, but like you already did with all the new mons, so I don't know.
I don't know. It's nice that the mechanic itself is not like everything's not running Stellar Terra type because that's the way it should be. Like that's nice. I think having it be, I was gonna say complicated, and I think that's still the word I want to use. Having it be complicated means you have to make decisions at team building. Of yes, I want to Stellar my Chen Pao because that's exactly how I'm going to know to use it.
I think they could have made it 1.5 instead of 1.2 if they were going to do the...
I agree.
If they were going to do the thing where you lose it after a turn. For the Terra Blast thing is super niche anyway, so whatever. Like I don't think most mons are going to run that, but like the Contrary is an option, I guess. Like you can run it on like a Namarist or something, which is cute, but I don't know. Yeah. Well, it's not a real mon, but yeah, I get it.
It's just Superior. Sorry,
Superior. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah,
not a real mon still, but one of
seeing some YouTube content. But like I don't know if it ever becomes like the optimal choice as opposed to something cute that people tack on, but it definitely got used in this past weekend. So it might be perfectly fine. It might just be that they actually made something balanced on the first swing for once. So who knows?
Yeah, that's a depressing almost way to be like, yeah, cool, they did a good job for once. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I'm glad it's not just overbearing.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, there were definitely multiple ways they could have gone about this one, but they also like you're totally right. Like you could have gone way too far and made it so that some mons just become insane coverage monsters that like if it didn't go away and you could just have a mon with
Keep using
like
it.
four coverage moves that just like cover everything basically and have like stab on all of them, that'd be pretty scary. Like if you had Flutter Mane that could suddenly start throwing out like stab energy balls and whatnot. Like
Yeah, that's wildly oppressive. So yes. Let's see what else. Oh, there are 502 players, so that's a pretty a slightly above average or top of average size for what we're seeing in NA regionals right now, which is pretty great. So that was a cool
yeah,
thing.
pretty good considering it was like right after New Year's
Right
and
after the
and
holidays.
not a cheap place to go either. Portland is a real city. Like is not a like hotels there are not going to be a fun time.
Yeah, very true. All right. So speaking of hotels and a fun time,
Charlotte's coming up.
Charlotte's coming up. Yeah, we got 2 weeks. Almost. Oh gosh, not even 2 weeks from Charlotte. Yeah, no. Charlotte is next weekend. Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah, yeah.
terrifying.
I've been playing a lot, but I feel like I haven't been prepping properly. I don't know. We'll see. I have a couple ideas, and some of them involve just ripping something direct. Some of them involve things I've like actually built myself, and some of them involve just ripping it directly from this past weekend and running with it.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I don't know. It's been hard to decide.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I have a couple of things in the team builder that I have not nearly practiced enough with, but I want to go ahead and I think after this recording, I'm going to pull up Showdown and pull up this list of teams from Portland and be like, what do I feel like playing? And shocking no one, I'm between weather and weather because I
If
like
you
weather.
so it is pretty much the team that I was telling you about, but
Yes.
Eli Knowlton got 15th with that team, but subbing Baxcalibur for Incineroar. But it's the same kind of deal. Scarf Urshifu with Pelipper and Archaludon and Amoonguss as a core,
Mm-hmm.
and it's actually really good. And then Fluttermane tacked on is
You can sprinkle Fluttermane on anything.
yeah, exactly. It's very spreadable. Splashable. That's the word.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, Scarf Urshifu in rain is scary.
No, I wholeheartedly agree, and that was one of the like I've brought that to locals a couple months ago or something now at this point. It's really fun. Although the one I was running was not Terra Poison, it was Terra Water for maximum ouch.
Yeah, Terra Grass is also very common on that
Yeah.
team because you don't
Yeah.
have a lot of ways to deal with the Mungus on there besides just hurricaning it and praying, you know.
Right.
Although this one has Baxcalibur to smash it with Icicle Crash, right? So
Which is pretty good. Pretty good. I have never ran a Baxcalibur on a team yet.
I did once on my day 2 team, and it was good.
Right.
It
So I don't know.
synergizes really nicely with rain. Like you're usually looking for some strong ice coverage, and it's kind of hard to find, especially when like Bundle is the premier one and it is frail.
Mm-hmm. On the flip side, I'm also thinking of a Sun team with Walking Wake, but I'm really sad to see that the highest place in Walking Wake is 46th.
Yeah, it's hard to get right. I think it has a ton of potential. The thing is that Hydro Steam isn't that high of base power. You're really depending on getting multiple boosts to all your stuff, right? Because you want to set Manual Sun, and then you want to get the Photosynthesis boost, and then you want a Life Orb on top of that.
Right.
But a lot of people choose to go booster speed, or not even not a booster energy, but like get the speed boost from the sun instead of the power. But then you're not like I don't know, you're not doing that much. Like it's still strong, don't get me wrong, but it's base 80 on the move you're clicking, right? So you kind of need that extra multiplier, and
Right.
then you're not that fast anymore. But you're running Tornadus with Sunny Day, so maybe it's okay. You
Yeah,
get,
depends
get
on
that tailwind on there too.
on which team, right?
Oh, I don't know about which teams. I just
Yeah,
in general in the meta,
correct.
It's been Walking Wake and Sunny Day on Tornadus. Some people are running it with Prankster Thundy as well, which is pretty cool because Eerie Impulse has been very strong. Landorus Eye is actually vulnerable to it. A lot of people don't realize that it can be hit by that electric move despite being ground because it's a status move. So Thundy can deal with a lot of the special threats.
Oh, I see.
And then you toss an Incineroar in there because it it enjoys the sun as well, and you deal with your physical threats that way. And yeah, it's a pretty good core.
Hmm. All things to think about. Uh, but yeah, that'll be fun. I know the three of us are going to Charlotte. We'll be hanging out with the rest of our crew, the Poke Sports guys, Bruno, everyone else
Yeah, a
from
bunch of
that group.
the Georgia VGC crew is mostly going to be there as well. It'll be fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
A good time.
it's very very close to most of us. So yeah, if anybody is there, come say hello for sure.
Please do. We'll find a spot and then never move from it again between rounds because that's the way we operate. I don't actually know what else to talk about right now.
I guess there's USPA, but it hasn't really started yet. Our first week is against Utah, so that'll be interesting. We're in the same division as New York again, and New York is even scarier this year. So,
Dude, all of USPA is scary this year.
Probably
Like,
just going to we're going to try our best. The Georgia teams, I'm actually pretty proud of it this year, but
nice.
we may drop 1 week.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes. I'm helping out with Team Florida, not playing for them. That is a-okay. There's a lot of good people in Florida right now.
Yeah,
A lot of good people on the team, and there's some new people. I'm curious. I'm very excited to see how they go. Our first week is against Texas. Oh boy.
There are a lot of strong Texas players. I heard that they hadn't actually managed to recruit a lot of them. Like I don't think they actually managed to get Audi for their team. So y'all might be good there.
Oh, nice. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that might be it though. Honestly, I haven't played a whole lot of other games. I took a week break from Baldur's Gate, and I'm doing it again now. Still hadn't done a Dirge playthrough.
How many playthroughs of Baldur's Gate have you done?
This is number 5, I think.
Like 5 complete playthroughs.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, are you doing everything like side quests and like finishing all your companion quests every time too? Like
the ones I don't kill are the ones that I want to. But yeah, for the most part, most of them are pretty complete. Dirge, I just bit off Gale's hand immediately, so he never joined.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's more just I'm falling in love with the build craft on that. Like just all the multi-class options are really fun to play with.
What has been your out of 5 your top 2 tabs?
Okay, I had a really the tab was kind of boring. It was just 9 monk 3 rogue, or it might have been 8 monk 4 rogue. The idea is that you just get you get all these riders on your unarmed attacks, and then you get the extra bonus action from the thief subclass of rogue.
Yes.
And so you get to do another one of those the flurry of blows every turn.
Yep.
So that's been really fun. There is a so my Karlach was just the most roided out throwing bot ever. It was okay. So 5 levels of barbarian gets you with berserker, gets you rage, it gets you frenzy, so you get an extra you get to turn your bonus attacks into throws or attacks.
Oh, okay.
So so you could do that up to 5 to get extra attack and frenzy, and then you take 3 levels in rogue to get the extra bonus attack like the monk was doing.
Right.
And then you do 4 levels in fighter. The first 2 get you action surge, which is great.
Yep.
Which is just another 2 attacks because you have extra attack. And then the other 2 levels get you up to Eldritch Knight, which lets you bond to any weapon. Which means that so at first I was only using the weapons that are like they return by default, but then I was able to bond to even like I wasn't just stuck using Nirulna. It was the hammer that you steal from the House of Hope. I made it into a returning weapon, and so like Karlach was literally like Red Thor.
Oh, that's amazing!
Throwing the hammer and coming back, and yeah, and then she got to attack like 6 times a turn, and then I had her next to my Shadowheart was a Sorkadin, so it was 6 paladin, 6 sorcerer.
Oh, okay.
And so the idea, so you do paladin up to 6 to get extra attack, smite, and the auras to improve everybody around you saves. And then 6 levels of sorcerer gets you all the meta magic, but more importantly, it gets you a ton of spell slots. So you get to smite forever. Like you can just smite and smite and smite and smite. And then she gets to twin haste on your party, so you aren't dependent on potions of speed. Before each fight, Shadowheart just puts haste on herself and on Karlach, and then she proceeds to smite 4 times a turn, and Karlach proceeds to throw anywhere from 6 to 8 times a turn. And this was a tactician, and everything melted. I have videos of me being kind of drunk and like accidentally undoing my concentration and still just melting everything.
I love this. This is amazing.
This is the kind of like I love this kind of buildcraft stuff.
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, I've not done anything that wild yet. I personally, I'm still in Act 2. I watched Becca. Becca finished the game over Christmas break, so like I've seen the ending. It's fantastic. Like
You've seen
that was
an
really
ending.
fun. I've seen an ending. I've seen a version of the epilogue, and all that fun stuff. I can definitely see some of the complaints I saw about Baldur's Gate 3 was that the ending before the epilogue sucked. And I totally
just kind
see
of,
that.
yeah. Well, it depends what you chose. Even if you chose the right things, there was quite a bit. But yeah, like it was kind of abrupt.
Yeah, very abrupt. Especially
and if you choose the most evil ending, it's still abrupt. They don't give you an epilogue if you just take over the world.
Yes, I figured that'd be the case. But like the epilogue is very nice, so that was a good way to send off that game.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see people, you, me, us. Playing through multiple times just to get different stories, different builds, different. Oh man, that's so cool! Such a good game. No wonder it's. Actually, I don't understand how some people are like, nah, Baldur's Gate 3 wasn't. It
isn't that like visually spectacular. I guess like it's really good graphics, but like I don't know. People were trying to say Spider-Man was it because like it's beautiful, but it's not a game. It's a cutscene.
Right? No, it's not. It's not Spider-Man. The arguments for Alan Wake 2 and for Tears of the Kingdom, sure, I can appreciate those, but they're
Alan
still
Wake
not...
is also a storybook, but Tears of the Kingdom, I could say,
yeah, but like Tears for sure. I don't know. It's just Baldur's Gate so good.
Yeah, I am nearing the end of my chain on it though. I think I am like smashing spacebar through it. Every time I recognize a bit of dialogue, I'm just like, nope, I don't need to see this again.
Sure, like, that makes sense. I mean, after 3 run throughs, I'm sure you're seeing a lot of the same dialogue.
Yeah. Well, it's to the point where I'm doing things that are just like, I don't even think this is in character, but I haven't seen this branch yet, so let's just do this.
Yes,
this is dumb, but yeah,
that's definitely like definitely one of my after my real playthroughs, first playthrough, whatever. Like I'm gonna be like, I just want to see what happens if blank.
I will like sometimes I don't have like they really make you feel bad for doing evil things. Like you have to really be dedicated to to being a monster.
And they just good job, Larian. Just good job. Yeah. What else? Other video games? I don't know that I have anything else.
Only like the real video game I'm playing is Scarlet, so I can play through to the end and get a Raging Bolt in case I want to run that.
Oh, sure.
I should buy the DLC for a second time.
Paywalled Pokemon. Yay!
Yep. I got the Walking Wake before the raids ended, so that was good at least. But yeah, it's.
I should have gotten another one.
You can't get another one. You only got the one.
Even if you did it before?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you can get it for once per event.
Nope, it is once forever. It's
never
silly,
mind.
But yeah,
that is silly. It's the same for the other ones too, right? Like Raging Bolt and Gouging Fire. Like you can only get one of
but
them.
those are just in the DLC. You also only get them once,
somewhere.
but they're static encounters. Yeah.
Got it.
And you have to get 200 mons in the dex to do it. So easy for me because I've got everything at home. I'm just going to transfer it all over.
Sure.
But yeah, they were serious about getting those for events where they are top metamons. So
yeah, it's wild to me. I don't know. I still don't. Something about
I kind of hope Walking Wake doesn't do well just because it is so aggressive. Like, it is a one-time event thing.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I don't like it.
Me neither.
But that is what it is. Give me the showdown builder in game, please. And it can only be used for ladder
I think Centro is trying to save face and say that they were totally going to do that and just scrapped it. It's like I think you were just wrong, man. But you know.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. It was a fun thing to hope. I was not holding my breath for it.
Yeah, same. We didn't get anything in the end.
Yeah.
On that very happy note, we want to call it here.
Yeah, you know what?
Shorter episode.
Let's do it. Short episode. So a couple of housekeeping things. Eventually, I have some stuff that I want to put on the channel, but I have just been somewhere between lazy, tired, and very busy for the last few weeks. So people who know that I have liege matches, I'm sorry. Eventually. And then I'm going to surprise, maybe not surprise, but I haven't talked about this yet with Rowan or Sheldon, but I do want to make some changes to the podcast itself.
Oh, wow.
I have some thoughts and theories for new formats, and by that I mean any amount of structure. But we'll talk more about that offline. Maybe in Charlotte we'll talk about it. But I think it'll be a lot more. I think if I can finalize my thoughts on what I want to do, it'll make the three of us happier with the product we put out. So
yeah, let's do it.
Here's hoping. But besides that, thank you to RobKTA for the use of our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner off the Ultraball album. I have been Harrison. You can find me online at Rorixon. Like I need to change either my intro or outro because it's the same thing kind of. But either way, all my stuff's down below. Rowan, who are you?
I'm Rowan. You can find my stuff down below. There is nothing new.
It's gonna be a wild
tragedy. I have the time. I have the time to play this game. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's how I feel too right now. Anyway, until we've been the Game Corner. All of our stuff's down below. Say, you know what? That's it. It's all down below. Nothing's changed. Discord, Patreon, links and stuff right there. But until next time, press start and game on. Bye.